Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. And welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I am so happy to see you join us here today at the Resistance. One of these days, the revolution will begin, boys and girls. And that day will be a day of glory and infamy. I have some interesting videos tonight. I have a video about a cop stomping this guy's head, a handcuffed man's head, and then lying about it while it's on video. And there's other officers there, which, again, I don't know how these people, number one, can lie when they're on video, say stupid lie, and then they're not just on video. There's other cops there, right? Other cops watching what's going on, and he blatantly lies about what happened. Number one, because he thinks he can get away with the lie. Number two, because he thinks the other cops will cover for him. Okay? This is our ever-expanding, over-intrusive, comply-or-die police state here in America. Full of shit. I left out the full of shit part, didn't I? Okay, I have a video about the TSA being 40%. 40% of TSA workers are not vaccinated. Again, this is the frontline people, right? These are the people who are constantly in touch with the public. Constantly, all day, every day. And they're like, yeah, fuck that. Right? There's an issue here that I don't understand what's happening, right? Police officers, TSA, nurses. Oh, by the way, I have a video about a nurse being escorted out of UCLA hospital because she's not vaccinated, because she's not willing to get vaccinated. A nurse. I've talked about this. The people who do that job are very special people. I could never do that job. I don't want to be a cop. I don't want to be, I don't want these, jobs where you got to deal with sick people and angry people. And I don't mind the angry people part. I deal with the angry people all the time. But not face to face, not trying to shoot me, not trying to kick me in the nuts. They kind of try to kick me in the nuts, but I'm stronger than that. A nurse kicked out of UCLA. I have a video about that. Comp stopping head, TSA, ferry workers in Seattle. The ferry workers are in the process of shutting down the ferry system because of the vaccine mandate. They're in Seattle. I know people who don't live around the rainforest don't really know, but in Seattle there's dozens of little islands that people live on, and way out on the peninsula, right? And the majority of the islands is impossible to get to without a ferry, and thousands of people live there, right? Thousands and thousands of people, and they're all out on the peninsula. And this, I know you think ferry, people go on the ferry for sightseeing, people go on the ferry to I don't know what the heck you think, to go shopping or something. People here use the ferry every day to go to work. It's going to shut down the whole system, shutting down this ferry system, which I think is just fucking awesome. Fuck you, fuck your mandates, up the ass as far as it'll go. Police mandate, ferry shut down, TSA, the police, right? The TSA is 40% unvaccinated. The police in Seattle, it looks to me like they're somewhere around close to 40% unvaccinated. Cop stomps head. Chicago cops walk out. The Chicago cops have a plan for this weekend in order to do a Sickout. Right, and that's why I put the Purge in the title and everything, because I thought I was being so cute. The Purge is a movie that I actually have not seen. I see the trailers on TV. It's not really my kind of thing anymore. I don't really like. I don't know. I don't really like Western movies all that much. A little bit, but not that much. So they have I don't know, the Purge is like, I guess it's all the cops come off the street or something, and then everybody goes out and kills each other. I have no idea. Maybe they eat the rich. I don't know. Like I said, I'm really not familiar with the movies. But I thought it was interesting title because this seems to be the premise of, there's no security, there's no safe place, the cops are all gone, what's going to happen? And this is the plan for Chicago this weekend. The cops they're going to do a Sickout, right? And it's one thing for pilots on Southwest Airlines to do a Sickout. It's another thing for, for police to do a Sickout, right? People can wait to fly. People really can't wait when they need the police. People are already waiting far too long when they need the police. In fact, I've said many times on YouTube, when seconds matter, police are minutes away, at least. When seconds matter, police are minutes away, at the very least. Something to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I am about ready for a bong hit. I think that seems like a good way to start off the show. It's kind of a traditional thing here. We like to begin the show with a nice, loving aura, sharing a little bit of the sacrament with all of my beautiful people, my little ninjas. I think that seems like a good idea. I'm going to play this video with the TSA, 40% not vaccinated. It's a very short video. It'll give me a chance to heat up the bong, and we can have a nice puff. So, I'm going to play that video for you, and I'll be right back. If you want to call, the number's right there on the screen, 805-669-6397, 805-MOX News. Be right back.
The Transportation Security Administration says 40% of its workers are not vaccinated. They need to be fully vaccinated by November 22nd, right before the busy Thanksgiving travel period. It takes 2 weeks for full immunity, so time is running out to get the shots. Even with the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, those employees would have to get the shot by November 8th. The TSA administrator says the agency is creating contingency plans in case of a staffing shortage. Just about an hour ago, President Biden gave us an update on the national response to the pandemic. The president said more needs to be done to vaccinate the 66 million Americans who remain unvaccinated.
The vaccine requirements that we started rolling out in the summer are working. They're working. The Labor Department is going to soon be issuing an emergency rule for companies with 100 or more employees to implement vaccination requirements among their workforce. Every day, we see more businesses implementing vaccination requirements, and the mounting data shows that they work.
The president also urged states and private businesses to step up their efforts to get more people vaccinated and to avoid another surge in COVID cases.
I wanted to point out also that the Boo Bear has joined us this evening, and we are always lucky to have him bless us with his presence. Nice to see you, buddy. And he just had a cookie, so he's going to be chill for the rest of the show. Didn't you, buddy? You love those peanut butter cookies, huh? Those are the best. All right, everybody ready for a bong hit? I'm about ready for a bong hit myself. I was thinking that we might have a bong hit, might share a little puff together. That sounds good to me. How about you, my little ninjas? Would you like to have a bong hit too? What was that thing with the mirror? What was that thing when I was a kid with the mirror? It was like a magic mirror. What was that? It's like, I'm gonna have to figure that out. There was some kid show that used to have a magic mirror, and you'd look into it, and what the hell was that show? Somebody's got to know. It was like, for some reason I keep thinking B, something, busy bee, or busy bee, I don't know. I will not stop talking to you like your children, doctor. Especially you. I think of you all as my little ninjas. My children, my little ninjas, to go out into the world and to take your deadly kung fu skills and show people the truth. All right, so let's see, where were we? Hi, Jackie Cat. Magic screen. No, it's like a magic mirror. It was like a handheld mirror. And it was like something busy bee. And it was like a woman who was like their teacher or something. It was like almost like a classroom setting. I can't remember. What isn't racist? Oh man. There was a story on the news last night. I was going to play the local that I was thinking about playing. And it was like this teacher, she broke up a fight between two kids, I think like fifth graders or something. And one of the fifth graders had said the N-word, and the teacher explained that one of the kids had said the word, and she pronounced the word, and oh, I'm so offended. Oh, you hurt me so much. What up, caller?
Boxy, it's Stevie Nicks.
Hey, man.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Saw a lot tonight, figured I'd call in.
Cool. What's happening?
I fucking caught COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It just keeps getting fucking better. I got a new job. I went to start the job, tested positive. They fucking sent me home.
Wow.
I got a quarantine now. I couldn't come at a worse fucking time, man.
Did you find a better place to live?
No.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, what's the COVID like?
Bro, it ain't shit.
You're not dying? You can't get out of bed?
No. I got sniffles, little body aches. It's a mild flu.
Oh my God, dude. You better take care.
Mild flu-like symptoms. Yeah.
You better be sure and...
I'm on the other end of it now.
Was it bad at all? I mean, nothing?
No.
Yeah.
Nothing, sniffles, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not pleasant, but it's a mild cold. Yeah.
So you probably wouldn't even know about it if they hadn't tested you.
Right. I figured it was just a head cold. Like, I just had sniffles for a few days.
Yeah, I keep wondering, like, in the spring, how many people are like, oh my God, I got the COVID because they have fucking allergies, pollen allergies.
That's what I thought it was allergies. It was so mild,
Yeah. Well, that
So I
sucks.
didn't think anything of it.
That sucks, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I honestly have wondered many times if I've already had the COVID because I got the sniffles from time to time, I sneeze, I'm like, oh my God!
Possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if I didn't have to start the new job and they didn't test me, I would have never known. No?
Yeah.
Well. They
Well.
took care of it.
So did they make you get vaccinated?
No, they're not making me get vaccinated.
I mean, so you went to the doctor? You go to the doctor with the
No.
COVID? No.
No, man, I don't have insurance right now and shit. So
Yeah.
there's this church here that does free testing. So
Yeah.
I went to this church. Yeah.
Well, you gotta stay strong, man. You'll get through it. The shit only. Look, you can only go so low, and then you gotta go back up. That's what I'm trying to say. So
I know.
you're about due for a turnaround. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, I am. But
Are you still
yeah,
Are you still gonna have the job?
yeah, they're being pretty cool about it so far.
That's good. I know you were looking forward to that.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna give me sick pay, even though I didn't.
Wow.
Didn't want to. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this employer so far. I'm planning on doing a real good job for him.
Right on. Well, then it sounds like things will be turning around pretty quick, bro.
Yeah, it should be. So what's all this about Purge in Chicago?
Oh, the cops in Chicago are planning to do a Sickout this weekend. So there'll probably be 50% staff, something like that.
A Sickout, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal for them to do that too. But cops don't really care what's legal, do they?
No.
Unless of course they're talking about you. Then like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the laws don't apply to them.
No, they don't. I
Yeah.
have a video about a cop stomping on a guy's head.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, a handcuff guy's head, and then lying about it. It's fucking idiot.
Cops, man.
Yeah.
Fucking cops. I don't know. What can you do, man? It's fucked up world we-
Keep moving forward. That's all any of us can do, my brother.
That's what I'm trying, man.
Yeah. That's all you can do. Just keep moving forward. That's honestly the best recommendation I have, other than, eat cannabis. That's very important. At least to me.
Yeah. That's one thing that smoking while I've had this has made me nauseous, so I haven't smoked all week.
Huh. Well, they recommend cannabis for nausea. So you should try and have a puff and see if it helps.
Yeah, I tried the last couple nights. It just made me nauseous.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I'm going to wait.
Well, then I'm not getting the COVID for sure.
Right?
Fuck that.
Right? Nah, but I mean, I could see, how some people are impacted by it, worse than others.
Oh, yeah. That's easy to understand.
That's all viruses, like everybody responds to things.
Right. I mean, some people get the flu and it's no big deal. Some people get the flu and they die.
Right. Yeah. So, and I've had the worst flus than this for sure.
Oh man, I've had some pretty bad flus, I'll tell you.
Yeah, this was pretty mild, man. I mean, it wasn't even really flu-like. It was more like sinuses and
yeah.
stuff.
Like I said, I think probably like during the spring and early summer, like so many people are just freaking out because they have pollen allergies. They're like, oh my god, I gotta get to the testing facility right now. And I whatever, it's crazy.
Yeah, whatever. It's crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. I still can't even believe those last 2 years have just been fucking insane, man. I can't even I don't know. I'm still wrapping my head around just how insane and crazy everything got.
It's insane. It's still very insane. It's not. Here's what's going to happen. Okay, in the next 8 months. Basically, the campaign for presidency will begin. Right? They're going to start campaigning here in the next few months for this upcoming election in 2022. But it's going to go really into overdrive as soon as that's over. It's going to ramp up there. They start campaigning and they'll just go boom. Right. So they can't campaign if everything is in shitville. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So they're gonna
get the propaganda machine turning.
Right, it's gonna have to turn around here pretty damn quick. So I would somewhat count on that. I don't want to get your hopes up too much, but that's the way I see things, and that's the way I've seen things over and over and over. So.
Yeah, that's how it's been my whole life for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think of this DeSantis, man? He might run.
DeSantis for president?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like any of the politicians, dude. I don't. I mean, seriously, I don't like any of the politicians. They're all, in my opinion, seriously garbage. Like at the level of being traitors to our country. That's what I believe.
Can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you there. I think I don't know. I think that there's a couple, 2 or 3, maybe. I know you don't like Rand Paul. I kind of like Randy, man. He's not his dad.
That's the whole thing. It's not that I don't appreciate Rand Paul from time to time. It's that his dad was very consistent, and I don't think that. I don't think he's nearly
Randy
as
hasn't been as
consistent
consistent as his dad,
for
sure. But I think If there's any ally we have in Washington right now, it's fucking Randy, dude. I can't think of anyone else. And no, he's not perfect, but
yeah,
he's probably gotta be the closest thing.
this is the trap, though, right? Okay, so in politics, I keep pointing out to people: there's no left, there's no right. There's this group over here talking to these suckers, saying the things they want to hear, and there's this group over here talking to these suckers. Now, what happens is you find someone in those groups and you go, ooh, look, at least there's this one guy who's fighting for us. But he's not. Because if he was, he'd be up there at the microphone selling out every single other piece of shit in Congress. You know, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that he stands there for the people. And I don't see that person. So I despise all these politicians and I want to see them all go to jail. Every single one of them for the last 20 years. Seriously.
I know. Yeah, I don't disagree there. I mean...
And I hate to feel that way about Ron Paul. I hate to feel that way about Ron Paul and Tulsi Gabbard and, you know, a couple other people. But at the same time, I think that one way or another they would completely understand. I know Ron Paul would.
Yeah, Ron would probably understand.
He'd probably be proud of us for doing it, dude. That's my guess.
Yeah, probably, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously never going to happen, though.
Don't you tell me that. I don't believe that for a second. Look, I believe, this is where I'm at. I believe anything can happen. Okay, I honestly believe that. And I believe that if the people get behind something, they can truly make stuff. I mean, I believe anything can happen, like all of a sudden, poof, shit happens. But if the people get behind shit, they come together and get behind it, they can make shit. They can actually make shit happen, not just stuff can happen. They can make it happen. So,
that's the issue, though. That's
completely the issue. That's the whole issue, and this is why
we're divided and pitted against each other.
And this is
why that's what they use this right-left bullshit to do, is to keep us pitted against each other and fighting and arguing. Because if we unified and we got along for a common goal and a common purpose, the American people do amazing things.
We have all the power. We have all the power.
We have all the power.
Yeah,
but that's keep us divided. We don't realize we have all the power.
Right, and this is what I'm saying about going, oh, look, well, there's Rand Paul in Congress and he's fighting for us. No, he's not. But you get this feeling like, see, there's at least this one person, so you still have the belief. You know what I mean? You still, like, something inside of you believes that maybe there's actually something good left in our government. There's not. It needs a stake through the motherfucking heart once and for all.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I really believe that there's just one person in Congress, because the thing is, you know, the Senate and Congress, is there could be that one person. There could be Rand Paul, but what the fuck difference does that really make?
Well, it's this belief system. Okay, you have to. Okay, it's like I said. I believe anything can happen. Right? It's this. People have that in themselves somewhere, and when they go, oh look, there's this one guy fighting for us, then they believe that maybe there actually is some good left in the government and some chance that good will spread. There's no hope left for this government. Okay, so don't even. I mean, I'm telling you, these people are criminals. And it's not a matter of Rand Paul doesn't say some important stuff sometime. It's a matter of he's a motherfucking criminal. Okay? He helps all this shit happen.
Replacing with what, though?
What's that?
With who? What are we replacing?
This is the point. This is 100% of the point. We send all these people in Congress that have been in Congress for the last 20 years, every single one of them, to prison. And then the people who do replace them, well, no, they better do a better job than those fuckheads. Huh? You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. My concern is that, so you get rid of all of our government and everybody in it and clean house.
No, the politicians, not our government, the politicians.
Okay, fair enough. You get rid of the politicians, we clean house. My concern is that some worse foreign entity will invade or take over, which is even worse. I feel
Yeah,
like.
well, we're not going to fire the Pentagon all at once. You know, I mean,
Sure.
look, and
Yeah, but it's already been compromised. That's the thing.
of course, the
It's fucking-
Pentagon. Look at the Pentagon has to be held accountable.
Communists
All
are
the
fucking
secret
invaded,
agencies,
dude.
all the secret agencies
Get
have to be.
infiltrated.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
Marxists have
I agree.
infiltrated.
Look, you know, they did this 9/11 bullshit. They lied us into war in Iraq.
Yeah.
It has to be held accountable. Killing 1 million innocent Iraqis. Okay, our country
I know.
looks like shit to the world. Okay, I don't care what anybody
Of course.
says. We look like something that needs to be stopped. Okay, killing 1 million innocent Iraqis. Someone must be held accountable. And I don't want it to be our country. We have a great country. We just have shit for leadership.
Our leadership's been compromised, man. You know, it's a global agenda now. They sold us out a long time ago. They don't give a fuck about America.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all these companies, Google, Facebook. These are international conglomerates. Their loyalty isn't to the American government. They're global entities. They take
Yeah.
down policies of other countries and then they impose them on us. Our laws mean nothing to them.
They're there to protect us, and yet they're spreading weapons all around the world. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I call it doom and gloom. I just don't see. I don't see it getting better.
Look, you can't give up. You can't give up, okay? And it probably is. Look, right now we're in Shitville, so I don't know how you can't see it getting better than this. If it gets worse than this,
I think it could get worse.
I would be, you know what? I would be happy for it to get worse. You know why? Because this gives the people less and less reason not to come together. Actually, they begin to need each other more and more. And then they will recognize that they do have something in common. That this government has brought their quality of life down so fucking far that they fear so deeply for their children and their grandchildren.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope the American people. I hope we come together as a people, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
We're so divided.
Yeah.
It's so much turmoil and hate and anger.
Yeah.
It's so fucking disturbing.
Yeah, it's unsustainable, and it's really bothering the whole consciousness of our country. It's like you're saying,
really
everybody's over agitated. Everybody is, so many people are living in constant fear, like every moment of every day. A moment being the smallest measurable amount of time. It doesn't end for so many people, and there's so much other anxiety, the anger. But I believe the anger is an expression of fear a lot of the time, almost all of the time. It can't continue to get worse. That's what I'm saying. We're already in shitville, so it might get a little bit worse, but I can't imagine it getting a lot worse. And like I said,
I don't know about that. Man.
Well,
I
here's the deal.
I want to have faith.
If it gets worse, there's so many guns in this country, okay? The people are ready for a revolution. I'm not the only one calling for this, okay? The people are tired of this government. Every day, more and more tired.
I know, but no one can agree on what revolution, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's whose revolution?
We, the people of this great nation.
Yeah. I think it just we can't come to a consensus and agree on what we want to go, and then how do you move in a direction in a revolution like that? Like,
I've explained all of these things. We don't have to fight the government. All we have to do is sit down. Okay? Not fucking buy a single thing off Amazon for the next 30 days. And we will fully have their attention. Okay? And we'll say, and people will come forward that will be like, real representations of the people. I hope. That's my, we need, and this is the way, again, that the people get the power. If we just stop. and say no more. Till you listen to us, no more. We're the
People have to
working.
give a shit for that.
Wrong. We're the working class. We make everything happen on a day-to-day basis in this country. And unless you're going to start listening to us, nothing's going to happen in this country. And I'm pretty sure you fucked up billionaire pieces of shit aren't going to like that at all.
I feel like Americans are just fucking very selfish people in general.
Again, Americans, look at, they're overworked. They're incredibly stressed out. You know, they
they just don't give a shit. I mean, trying to tell people, like, it's so simple, just stop buying Amazon. People just don't care. They want the convenience. They don't give a fuck.
Well, no, we have to. No, this is something that we all
gratification.
decide to do together. It's not like you just say stop buying Amazon and then a few more people and a few more people. No, all of a sudden, bam, it shuts off. Okay, that's how we have to do it. And then yeah, whatever. A few stragglers, suck my fucking cock. Who cares about you? Okay. That being said, that's all it really takes to get the government's attention. If that doesn't work, then we figure out what the next. And if we're sitting around for 30 days, you know, not doing anything, we can make some pretty big plans for what's next. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of the right people organizing of discussions like this. This is what we need to do. Only 1 million people need to be involved. You know,
Right.
and
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard to see through the trees right now. I don't know.
Look, you don't need to focus on the negative. Okay, there's all these positive things. You have this job that you're really looking forward to. You know, you've already got the COVID, so now you're pretty much protected. You know, I mean,
I know.
so
You know, I got natural immunity now.
yeah, so just
Which is
fucking.
like
I mean,
30
you gotta.
times more effective.
You don't have to, but you have the option to focus on the positive. You know, and as I've said so
Right.
many times in the last week, it's much easier to go through life with a smile on your face than it is, you know, with a scowl, being angry, that sort of thing. So I recommend that you know, at least look for the positive where you can find it, because it's all around you, waiting to be
I
experienced.
do my best.
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
trying, man. That's part of the reason I think I call you is you always have positive things to say. I guess. That's why I've been calling you lately.
I have an honest opinion, honest, direct, open opinion. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've been watching you for, I don't know, man, 10 or 12 years. I fucking can't even remember. It's been so goddamn long.
Yeah.
You used to rage it, man. I think I first saw you at a show, saw your banner at a show or something like that, like the Human Being in San Francisco or something. I don't know. But, yeah. I don't always agree with you, but most of the time I do.
Very, very few people always agree with me, so you know
Well, I've never met anybody I agree with 100% of the time. There's
Yeah.
always something, right?
Yeah.
But in general, like overall, I've always agreed with
Yeah,
I
well,
don't say about 5%.
look, that's the thing, is that we don't have to agree on all these things. We just have to agree
Right.
on who the real enemy is, who
Right.
the real threat to our personal freedom
Yeah,
is.
fuck the details, right?
Yeah.
Like, so some little detail we don't agree on.
First, we have to get together on this same footing, where we all have
Yeah.
this common enemy, and it's the only real threat to our freedom, and we shouldn't allow threats to our freedom to exist. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope there's a reckoning, man. I really do. I'm trying to stay positive. It's hard to.
Like I said, you don't have to try and stay positive. Just focus on what is positive. You have the immunities now. You have
Yeah.
you know, this job that you're really looking forward to, and it's actually taking care of you. That's fucking amazing, dude. It sounds like really soon you're going to be in a new place to live where you like being. I would try and focus on the. I mean, it's right there in front of you. I'm not experiencing your stuff, and I'm telling you what it is you're missing out on. So.
Yeah. I know. I'm just trying to get through now and the depression to fucking get to the other side of it.
Well, the not using weed for a few days is difficult to get through depression.
Yeah.
So
It is.
if you can.
I use weed to manage depression and my autism.
Yeah, however it works. It works for a million different things, dude, and it really helps to take the edge off. You know, it's not like a cocktail where it numbs you out. It's like this positive thing that I'm talking about. Like people just carry all this negative baggage, and a little bit of weed just kind of lets that flow off. At least some of it, you know. So,
Yep.
You're not eating enough cannabis. All right, I gotta take a break.
Okay. All right.
Good to hear from you, Stevie. Keep the faith, man.
I'm working on it.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay, Stevie Nicks, Colorado. I have the video here about Chicago cops planning a Sickout. And I'm going to play that for you now because that's kind of what the show is about. Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot more about this today. It seems like they're kind of like trying to... Well, they are extremely underreporting this. This seems like a really important story that I guess they don't want to scare the shit out of people with or something. I'm going to play it. I'm going to go heat up my tea. I'm going to come back, and I think maybe it's time for a bong hit, boys and girls. I'm sorry, my little ninjas. But let's watch this video first.
If we suspect the numbers are true and we get a large number of our members to stand firm on their beliefs that this is an overreach and they're not going to supply the information in the portal or submit the testing, then it's safe to say the city of Chicago will have a police force at 50% or less for this weekend coming up.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Chicago could be forced to sideline massive numbers of police officers starting this weekend. The police union president is urging members not to comply with a vaccine mandate ahead of the deadline on Saturday. The union is fighting this in court. Specifically, they're telling members of the union not to answer the question, are you or are you not vaccinated? The police shortage could not come at a worse time for Chicago. Already there have been 629 murders in the city this year. That's a 4% increase over last year, which itself was a huge increase. And this past weekend, 40 people were shot, 4 of them killed, and just last night, 12 more people were shot. With that, we bring in Anna Devolantes, host on WGN Radio in Chicago. You and I were just talking in the break. There's people saying, I'm leaving town for the weekend.
You know, it is an issue. I would say a serious issue that if this really comes to fruition, Leland, it would be horrible for the city. I mean, you hear the remaining percentage of the population that for whatever reason doesn't want to be vaxxed. They're leaving their jobs. They're even leaving cities in that case because they don't agree with it. And you can be critical of that. But police, you can't say that it's okay for 50% of the police force to not show up. Yeah. I don't think Chicago is alone in that would not be a safe situation. Calls would go unanswered.
Chicago isn't safe to begin with in certain parts of the city. We want to be specific here. It's not that 50% of the police force is necessarily unvaccinated. It's that they're encouraging 50% of the police force not to answer the question, are you vaccinated or aren't you? Sort of to defy the mayor and say it's our right to privacy, setting up the vaccine mandate debate. It brings up an important question, though. The mayor of a city's number one job is to keep, in this case, her citizens safe. Are we in Chicago safer with a fully staffed, half unvaccinated police force or a half staffed vaccinated police force?
Look, that is a terrible situation to be in. I think we all can agree. I mean, I think there needs to be some agreement on this issue. But yes, if you had to look at the crime numbers versus the COVID numbers in Chicago right now, I think most people in the city would say crime is a larger concern. Our COVID numbers right now are relatively
on the other hand, if you call 911 and they said, oh, by the way, we only have an unvaccinated officer who could come, no problem, send them.
Probably we could. Yeah. But listen, I think there's also a fair argument here, and people are making it, in that if you have a police force that's largely unvaccinated, their duty is they're sworn to serve and protect. And if they're out there answering calls and interfacing with the public, maybe people who are immunocompromised, are they really serving and protecting? Okay. I don't know. I mean, they're passing, there's that argument.
Next time I need a defense attorney, I'm hiring you. This isn't, though, localized to Chicago, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk about this story. We'll broaden it out. Chicago, Seattle, Baltimore, Lynchburg, Virginia, Harrisonburg, Virginia, Durham, North Carolina. The Massachusetts State Police had a big issue with that. The city of Los Angeles. You can only imagine over the coming weeks and months, we're going to see this convergence of rising crime in big democratically run cities and vaccine mandates converging in a way that does not seem very good.
Well, I think that the courts will intervene before that happens, frankly. I really do. I think that the FOP has already brought this up for tomorrow, and the courts are going to have to make a decision. You can't have 50% of your police force not show up in Chicago this weekend. But look, Leland, let's talk about what this is and what it's not. This is a health issue. COVID is the #1 cause of death for police officers on duty across America right now. It is a health issue.
That counts, though. It's the #1 cause of death among police officers, not necessarily knowing whether or not they caught COVID on duty, right?
But they're attributing it to on-duty deaths,
Okay.
and they're collecting benefits as such. So call it what you will. It is taking the lives of police officers, and it's certainly a safety issue. But I think it's turned into a political issue, and I think that's an important part of it, too. The mayor and the police union don't agree with anything, and they could have come to a solution today, but he's urging his membership not even to answer the question.
No, they're definitely trying to create this inflection point. So we stand by for Friday, all of us here in Chicago. Wonder what the lines will be like at Midway and O'Hare if people are trying to leave town. Anna, thank you. Good to see you.
Of course.
That was a pretty good clip, right? I like that. I like that clip. I don't like that woman. She's like, oh, it was so funny when the guy was like challenging her about, she says, the #1 killer of cops right now is COVID. And he's like, yeah, but we don't know if they got it on the job or not, right? And she's like, well, they're getting benefits. They deserve to get benefits. You just heard of Stevie Nicks. He's been working at that job for like 2 weeks, and they're like, "Yeah, let's give you benefits." So, yeah, everybody gets the benefits that they have been promised. It's weird. It's like if you don't submit, you are no longer worthy of benefits, of the benefits that you were promised. It's like firing these people and saying, you get a dishonorable discharge. Oh, you lose your pension. You lose. You're not able to claim unemployment. You know, these people. Some of them have worked at their jobs for 20 years, and now somehow they're able to take away all this like safety net, all this everything that they work for the last 20 years. As far as I've done a good job, and I've made a good life, and now we're going to take it all away because you won't submit to what the government tells you to do. Again, this is the beginning. They overstepped, and I can see myself coming together with cops over this. I actually am in agreement with cops all of a sudden. What? Yeah, cops. You go, cops. I love the police. Fuck yeah. That's going to have to be the name of the show next week. I love the police. Fuck yeah. You go, officer. You tell him who's boss. That's right. You're the boss. And I want to see more of that. Not amongst the people, amongst the assholes that are telling them that they're not allowed to make choices on their own health care. And the thing is that what I talked about again and again, I have a video of a nurse getting kicked out of UCLA hospital because she won't get vaccinated. These are first responders. I played a video earlier about the TSA. 40% of TSA are not vaccinated. And I will bet you that doesn't include the ones that have already asked for, they asked for this way out because they have a medical thing or religious, beliefs against that kind of thing. So they ask for an exemption. And I bet you that 40% doesn't include the ones that ask for exemption. So, and they're first responders. They're in constant contact with with the public, the police, the nurses. You know, this doesn't compute in my brain at the same time. I really am glad to see these people not submitting, because they are the front lines. They're, like I said, one of the titles of the show a few weeks ago was will last year's heroes become will vaccine mandates make last year's heroes into this year's unemployed? I said that that was the title of the show a couple weeks ago, and that's what we're seeing now. You know, this video with this nurse being kicked out of UCLA hospital, this threat that you know, the ferry workers, the ferry workers, first front line, ambulance, nursing home caregivers. You know, these are all front lines. It's so strange that's those are the people that are saying no. It's so strange, because what they're trying to tell us is, like, you know, a lot of people, you know. I am I for one stand with the police. At least on this matter. It's really weird. I don't know if those words have ever come out of my mouth before. I would bet they haven't. But I, for one, I think that this is good. I think that we're going to again see the pushback. I'm really surprised that other fellow officers aren't like, yeah, let's, you know, stand shoulder to shoulder on this one, like they do with so many other things. You know, we're the thin blue line, and nobody's gonna fuck with it. You know, let alone the goddamn mayor. Suck a bag of dicks, mayor. Hello, caller.
Michael, it is your father.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling you from Transylvania. I call you tonight to have a movie review with you.
Ooh, I watched The Warrior's Way last night. I really enjoyed it.
That movie is very gay.
Yeah, I don't think it is. Maybe. Cowboys tend to be kind of gay.
I shall check it out sometime. I saw the movie Halloween Kills.
Does that have Jamie Lee Curtis in it?
Jamie Lee Curtis, yummy, yum, yum.
Was that the first movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, or which one is that?
It is the second in a trilogy.
Ah, yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is a pretty killer in that movie.
She played second fiddle.
Yeah.
But that is okay, because Michael Myers goes on rampage and kills many, many white people.
Huh.
It is very, very good.
Yeah. If you like slasher movies, it's a good one for sure.
Yes, I like the blood, Michael.
Yeah, that's good. Have you watched Hardcore Henry?
No.
Oh, there's...
No, I did not see the Hardcore Henry, no.
Okay, well, you're really missing out. It's amazing. It's all shot...
I shall put that on my list, Mike.
It's all shot first person. The entire movie, you look through this one guy's eyes. I've never seen anything like it.
Does he use his sexy time member for sexy time?
I don't know what you're saying.
Does he use his
the first person thing? There's definitely sexy time. There's sexy time in the movie, but it's not involving him so much. Lots of strippers. What's that?
Is it in first person when he puts it in?
He doesn't do that. But yeah, he's in first person the entire movie. It's really fucking amazing piece of, and it's the director's first movie, and his second movie is called Nobody, and I fucking love that movie too.
Nobody.
Yeah, it's got nobody has. Have you seen the show Better Call Saul?
Yes.
Yeah, the star of Nobody is the guy who plays Saul on Better Call Saul, and he is such a badass in the movie, dude. You have no idea what a badass he could be. It's so weird, the transformation.
I shall watch all of those movies, Michael.
Okay, good plan.
Michael, I call you with a special message.
Uh-huh.
Listen, this is only for me and you, Michael.
Uh-huh.
Don't tell anybody about this, Michael.
I'm pretty good at that.
Okay, good. The secret message to you, Michael, is this.
The suspense is killing us. Hello? I guess we're done here. He hung up. There's no, or he dropped, whatever. I didn't do that, so you know. Was not me. I would not hang up on someone who's taking my movie recommendations. And again, Hardcore Henry and Nobody, the same director, his first two movies. If you have not seen them, I absolutely love both of those movies. And I love Nobody. I love Nobody. Oh my God. And Hardcore Henry, I've never seen anything like it. And you can find some very interesting trailers to Hardcore Henry on YouTube. I believe they were posted before the financing for the movie was actually finished out. And those were like clips that were going to be in the movie. It's very interesting. Again, that was his first movie. Nobody's second movie. Nobody's fucking good. I've watched it 3 times, and I would have watched it at least once or twice more, but Craig took it off the fucking TV. It was on the TV, and then it disappeared off the TV. Motherfucking shit. I'll put it back on the TV one of these days. So, I have another video. The telephone number is up there on the screen if you would like to call. I have a video about nurse getting escorted out of UCLA hospital because she refused. She's there to work, right? She's there to help sick people. This is a very special job. This takes a very special individual. If we were in like some kind of battlefield, I think that I could do it. I'm pretty sure because I'm not real squeamish. That being said, there's no way I would ever want to do it. There's no way I would ever pick it as a profession. So I am in awe of them. And to watch a security guard, a big old, I have an extra 80 pounds around my fucking waist security guard, escort this hardworking, angel of mercy off the premises because she refuses to get vaccinated is a load of garbage. Okay, let's see. And I have the ferry workers shut down, police mandate in Seattle. Let's do the police mandate in Seattle because I think this is going to be, again, the ferry workers. Maybe we should start with the ferry workers. The ferry workers are in the process of shutting down the ferry system in Seattle. You shut down the ferry system in Seattle, it's like shutting down the buses, right? Thousands of people are not going to be able to get to work. And it's not good. You shut down the whole city pretty much. And I think if they shut down the ferries, which they're in the process of doing, you shut down the whole city. Let's go ahead and watch that video. I'll be right back in just a couple minutes. So check it out. This is what's happening in Seattle. I also have a video about police having the same issue. Here comes the purge, people. It's coming. You better get ready. Buy your ammo now. The ferry shut down first.
Starts now.
If you're a commuter, if you rely on the ferry system, life as you know it's going to change.
Only on Como, ferry workers sound the alarm. They're warning about major disruptions ahead of the state's COVID vaccine mandate deadline on Monday. Already tonight, the ferry service announced service cuts will start this weekend due to severe staffing shortages.
3 of the busiest routes will be down to 1 boat indefinitely. Seattle, Bainbridge, Edmonds, Kingston, and Mukilteo, Clinton. The Fauntleroy, Vashon, Southworth runs will be down to 2 boats instead of 3. And the Anacortes, San Juan routes will be going to a 3-boat schedule instead of 4. And ferry workers say things could get even worse.
They're calling for accommodations to stay on the job. Como's Cole Miller is live tonight at Seattle's Coleman Dock with their message. Cole?
Mary Preston, good evening. If this past weekend was any kind of litmus test, commuters and those who need to use the ferry, they could be looking at some serious headaches. Between Friday and Saturday alone, more than 200 sailings were canceled. Washington State Ferries says that was due to a staffing shortage, a severe staffing shortage at that. Those workers we spoke with, they say this all boils down to people calling out sick on purpose, frustrated with that mandate. In the days and weeks ahead, the sailing may not be so smooth with Washington State Ferries.
I love the job. I want to keep my job.
A deckhand, Christopher Anderson is one of roughly 200 workers that could be out of that job come Monday when the state's vaccine mandate takes effect. He says 28 people called out sick last Friday when upwards of 150 sailings were called off. He says it was a protest against the mandate.
Every single deck employee or engine employee that works on the ferry boat has been denied a reasonable accommodation.
That's after getting an exemption, he says.
The ferries are supposed to be a reliable, dependable service, essential service, and that is no longer the case.
He and others warn travel across Puget Sound will be crippled if a mass firing takes place.
We're the lifeline out there.
TJ Janae is a chief mate, primarily working up in the San Juans.
If the ferries were to shut down to 1 or 2 boats up there, it would be devastating.
He too says he's been granted an exemption, but no accommodation.
I really just wish that they would have a change of heart.
And Peter Duncan, an assistant engineer, is in that same boat. He says positions of all kinds will be impacted and that no one is getting answers.
I hope that everybody can have a reasonable travel experience, but at this time I don't see it happening.
Okay, so in terms of accommodations, Washington State Ferries wasn't immediately available to comment on what the problem may be or as to why they have not been granted. Of those 3 men you heard from there in the story, they all say they have no plans on getting the vaccine. Back to you.
All right, Cole Miller live tonight at Coleman Dock. Thank you, Cole. In regards to the scheduling changes taking effect Saturday, WSF releasing this statement tonight saying throughout the pandemic, we've worked hard to maintain reliable service, completing the vast majority of sailings. However, to better reflect the service we can currently provide and to minimize last-minute cancellations due to a lack of crew, we made this difficult decision to adjust our schedules. Meantime, another big development tonight. The Seattle Fire Department is laying out contingency plans, saying it fully expects to lose critical staff over the city's vaccine mandate. And as of tonight, 54 uniformed officers have not submitted verification forms. The department says it's preparing for the possibility of falling below standard staffing levels by canceling non-essential training and events, adjusting response models and monitoring response data in real time. The Seattle Fire Department says it will continue to respond to all 911 and fire calls.
Okay, so they're not just shutting down the ferries, they're shutting down the fire department, they're shutting down... This is what I keep telling you, right? This mandate thing is gonna fucking bite them in the ass. And I again, for one, stand with the police. I stand with the ferry workers. I really stand with the working class people and the people that are below the poverty line. You know, it doesn't make sense the way things are. And if we had people that were, actually leading the country properly, I think they just show so much more care for the people. It would be this thing where it actually felt like the people mattered to them and what they were making happen for the people mattered to them. I don't get that impression. I don't get the impression that the people who are currently in leadership positions have the slightest bit of empathy for our individuality, for us to be able to who we are, our freedom, our independence, our liberty. I don't think they have empathy for any of those things. I just, that doesn't matter. None of this shit matters to them. We're like the little people. Let them eat cake. At least this is the impression I get. This is an impression I've gotten for a long, long time. I fall for this thing. At least I used to, where this is one of the good ones. Ron Paul in the Congress. And he I'm not going to say that he wasn't one of the good ones. He actually, like I said, Ron Paul was very, very consistent in what he said. I don't think Rand Paul is anywhere near as consistent as his dad. And if he was, I think I could say that he is one of the good ones. And that being said, all of them have to go to prison. Because right now, I don't see any good ones. And for the longest time, we just have to get over this idea that somehow these people want to do what's right by us. I don't know. And the idea, this guy is one of the good ones. Or this woman, she's fighting for us. No. Number one, she is not one of the good ones. There are no good ones. They're not. There's just not. And if there was, we would hear it from them. We'd hear how the criminal activity that's going on behind the scenes on a daily basis. All the scumbag deals that are being made. We'd hear about all of it. Because there'd be not just, if there was like this little, caucus of called the good ones or something, truth tellers, the truth caucus, and they stand up and they say, these motherfuckers, Nancy Pelosi, 50% of her income was made by war profiteering last year. Where is that person? You have the microphone. You know who these fucks are. You have the ability to research this information. Where is that member of Congress? I'm feeling a little dehydrated. So, I think that the mandates are just going to hurt. Like I said, the ferry system's about to be shut down, and it's not that any of us really want this. It's that this over-intrusive government has pushed us to this. We don't want to have these problems. We want a government that works. We want a government that works for the people, not that's the boss of the people. I'm so tired of, we're the boss of you. Don't even question it. We are the boss of you. Now move along. I this is what they've been telling me since kindergarten, right? And I have to tell you, it has never worked. Never once have they been the boss of me. And I love that about me. So it's so strange now, to see, for me to see people just submit, oh yeah, whatever the government tells me to do, I'm going to be first in line. Oh my God. Seeing people lined up miles deep in parking lots. They get medical treatment. Hello, caller.
Hello, host. You know, Israel is the most vaccinated country on earth.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And they had a, their version of the COVID pass. You're not allowed to go to the gym. You're not allowed to go to restaurants unless you're vaccinated.
Yeah, they have a legitimate COVID passport in which it's on your phone with the little QR code.
Right.
Yeah.
And their version of the Israeli Ministry of Health, 80% of the population is vaccinated in Israel. They're highly vaccinated. And
I understand most of them have already actually gotten their third booster shot. Third shot, their first booster shot, and they're approving the fourth booster shot now in Israel. This is what I understand.
That's true. Additionally, if you haven't had 2 shots within the last 6 months, you automatically get on the shit list. You can't go. You have to get 2 shots within the last 6 months. So apparently they're
right. And this is one of the issues that I'm really concerned at with these mandates. Right? Is that okay? We comply with your mandate, and then it's like, oh well, you're not vaccinated because you didn't get another shot. You're not, you're not complying, and I'm. There's no way I'm getting in that fucking line, man. They're gonna They're gonna fucking inject me for the rest of my life? No.
It's really the carrot and the stick. It's like, we're going to save your life. Here's the carrot. There's the vaccine. This is the beautiful little carrot. Take the carrot. We love people that say, I don't want the carrot, man. I don't like carrots. And then they show them the stick. You can't have a life. You can't have a job. You can't have a business. You can't go to the restaurant. You can't go to the grocery store. Can't go to the theater. You can't go to the park. You have to. That's the stick. So it's a carrot and a stick all over the world. And the Ministry of Health, whatever the name of it is, I don't know, but the Israeli Ministry of Health, all this time, did not have any website to report any adverse effects. And finally, they had no website to report any adverse effects. Yet they had already initiated the third jab amongst most people. And then 7 or 10 days ago, they finally put up a website that had adverse effects where you could report them, And within 24 hours, the word spread, and they got 25,000 first-hand accounts of people who had been vaccinated and had serious adverse effects.
Yeah.
And when that happened, the Israeli Ministry of Health deleted about 5,000 of those reports, those personal first-hand reports, because it was getting out of hand.
Yeah.
We can't have people knowing all this stuff, so it kind of backfired on them. They finally give people a place to record their data, essentially. This is what happened. I got this on that, and then all of a sudden I fell sick, and my foot fell off, and blah, blah, blah. And so the people in Israel, I've seen the videos coming out of Israel, they're really, really complaining about the dystopian 1984 bullshit going on there where everybody's segregated according to vaccinated or not vaccinated, 3 vaccinations.
Right.
So it's not a pretty picture. I would. You're not on Twitter, are you, Mike?
There's Twitter accounts. I don't really do anything except for the YouTube, but there's Twitter accounts, and I'm pretty sure Craig updates it every couple days.
Yeah. So all you do is you tweet out a video or a show, but you don't really follow Twitter.
No, I don't do any social media, man. I don't follow anybody on YouTube.
Well, it's you follow lots of stations on YouTube, man. That's where you get your clips from. But
no, I don't get my clips from there. I go through 18 hours of news a day on the fucking DVR here at the house. Okay? Most of it I go through fast forward. But that's what the job is, and that's what I do.
So that's off straight television, not YouTube?
All of it. Well, every once in a while I'll pull a clip off of YouTube. The Bright Side weed commercial, that's off YouTube. But 99% plus of what have I posted on YouTube has been off the DVR of my computer cable box.
Okay, I dig it. Well, both Twitter and Facebook and YouTube are pretty useless unless you develop a network of activists worldwide with the specific intention of collecting pertinent information relative to political events, and COVID-19 is a political event, military stuff, I-24.
Yeah, I used to do the Twitter back, when I was more enthusiastic. I would send stuff out. There'd be people that I would communicate with, but it just I would do the Reddit. I'm really tired of computers, dude.
Yeah, I dig it. I specifically, I'm a caveman, right? I'm a master mason, so I spent my entire life outdoors building shit, right? So the only reason I ever got on a computer was to upgrade my ability to record music, right? I wanted to get off those fucking 8-track digital recorders, and I wanted to get on a good music program, and so I had to learn a little bit about computers. But when I got the gist of Google and Facebook and Twitter, and I realized, oh my God, I can communicate with people all over the world. I developed this giant system and learned as much as I could from all these people, teachers and stuff, and activists. And now, for the last couple decades, I've got this network of people that in all these countries that I have access to, like the videos coming out of Italy where they're beating
well, what's happening in Lebanon? I'm not fully understanding what's happening in Lebanon today. Let's see, how informed are you?
Well, there's a judge in Lebanon that everybody hates, and he's in charge of the investigative committee to see what happened when the port exploded a year and 2 months ago, whenever the fuck it was, 2 months ago. And so they don't like this judge. I don't know his name. I trust the Lebanese people. They're the ones who are protesting, and I'll bet anything the judge is crooked. And then Hezbollah, of course, is in Lebanon, and they were supposedly behind the protests. And some fucking snipers, that's all I've heard so far, snipers, they don't identify them, open fire on the protesters. So it's like, the cops shooting Occupy Wall Street protesters, straight up.
So they're saying that there's some kind of cover-up going on with what happened in the port?
Right.
Yeah.
And that no one's stepping up, and someone should be prosecuted.
Yeah, that was a massive, major incident in the world. I'm surprised there's not more international investigation going on, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of people dead and a lot of people injured, and an entire country basically destroyed. That's their bread and butter, is that port. Everything comes through that port. It's like destroying every port on the West Coast and expecting California to survive. It ain't going to do it. So, Macron came there when it first happened, and I'll give you guys some money, but I want to see where it's going, and I'm going to drizzle it out really slow.
Yeah.
And you better do what I say, because I'm the friend of Lebanon. And a year and 3 months later, some bullshit fucking Nancy Pelosi judge or Judge Judy or who, and name a judge you don't like, and is still, probably protecting the rich and pulling 9/11 investigation type investigation on the port explosion when everybody pretty much knows rich people and stupid people left a bunch of explosives sitting there for years, and there was a fire, and somebody's responsible for that, and it's probably a rich guy. And they all think of all the families of the 200 plus dead and many thousands of injured, and the people that just want a better country, because Lebanon.
Right, but I mean, like you said, it sat there for years, and then all of a sudden it just exploded. I mean, You know, it's I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's just you know, I've seen Lebanon under attack for a long time, and
I've seen the videos of the missile coming in, and I can't tell if it's CGI or the real deal. But the fire was already going, and I wouldn't put it past Mossad to launch a very quick missile from a drone a mile away or so, and take advantage of the situation and destroy their fucking neighbor, Lebanon. I wouldn't put it past Mossad. They've done worse things than that. So my concern, I don't have the ability to say exactly how it happened, but I do know that the Lebanese people should kick some fucking ass. Kick the ass out of kick the judge in the ass, kick the committee out, take back your country. Everybody's in the same boat.
the Lebanese people are very strong, and they are, you know, very loving in the way that they can come together, and I think that they will. I mean, I think that they're gonna. It looks like to me that they're standing up against their government. You know.
Well, I don't have the death count as far as the snipers go. I think it could be as high as 10. I thought I heard 6 this morning, and you know, I kind of ignore that the Amy Goodman program, Democracy Later. I don't really like to watch her unless it's every once out of 25 segments she's got. I might click in. So I failed to click in on her story this morning because okay, snipers opened up on people in Lebanon and they were protesting. I know that much. I mean, how much is she going to tell me? So I don't know if they're blaming Hezbollah. I doubt it. I haven't heard that. Or if it was just fucking, could have been Mossad snipers for all.
Yeah, there's still, last I heard, there's still the unidentified snipers. So.
Yeah, so yeah, that's I mean, people don't deserve to be shot after their port's been blown up and they're out in the street pissed off because some judge is shuffling.
Yeah, people don't deserve to be shot because they're protesting their government. You know, I mean, I know I bring it up a lot, but fucking Scott Olson, man, he's standing there in the middle of the street, you know, wearing a pair of jeans, holding an American flag and a peace sign.
He was in full uniform. I thought he was in
No, he was shirtless, standing there with a peace sign and an American flag, and they thunked the tear gas canister off his head.
From 20 feet away. Yeah.
From 100 feet away.
Okay, maybe I got that was also. I mean, that was Oakland or
Oakland.
Oakland. Yeah, I could swear he was right next to the cops, dude. But
no, he's standing in the middle of the street all by himself. The people were like 100 feet behind him, and he was about in between him and the cops. He was between them and the cops, about 100 feet away.
When we see, you know, you and me, we watched all the Occupy videos coming from every fucking city in the United States and overseas, and we can tell. I'm not one of these people, but we can tell the expert protesters, because they got their fucking gas masks, they got armor, they got helmets, they got lights, you know, they got water and milk for the tear gas shit. I'm not that expert of a protester, but I remember those Oakland protests in particular, and there were some very expert protesters at the Occupy Oakland.
Oh yeah, some of those people, you know, they saved lives, you know.
Right. Yeah.
The one in Seattle, not this summer, but last summer when they had the cops had a line, and again, there's this girl, this 90-pound girl, standing in the middle of the street by herself, and the cops shoot her directly in the chest with a flashbang grenade, stopping her heart. And the only reason she lived was because there was medics on the site that rushed in. That's our police state for you.
Yeah, this is a psychosocial situation where people accept the beatings and the shootings and the punishment, the unlawful, ungodly punishment from these so-called authority figures for people doing what supposedly the Constitution guarantees us the right to petition our government to make a change.
And, yeah, and next I'm going to show a cop stomping on a handcuffed guy's head. So we'll have that video momentarily.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we've all seen a million unjust police beatings and worse, murders, straight up murders, shooting people in the back. You heard about those 3 lesbians in New York?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't look at it as lesbians, a cop, you know. But yeah,
well,
it's a cop that killed, you know, a cop that caught her girlfriend with somebody else and fucking whacked him. And whacked her too, pretty much. You know, because cops think that the law doesn't apply to them. But you gotta be careful. I think that most of them are just crazy or something. I used to hang out with cops when I was a kid. And I think that most of them are pretty much crazy. Been my experience.
Well, this girl had 4 commendations for superior behavior or something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was 5. Yeah, I heard that too.
So, it's crazy town, man. The whole world is crazy town right now. So, we got to keep up the pressure. God bless Lebanon. God bless all of the cops in Chicago and the Southwest pilots. And I hear more companies are going to join in that. And what's today? 14th? So 4 more days till the 18th. That's a big day for the walkout in the schools and stuff. Find your local activity on the 18th, 4 more days from now, and join it and go out in the street. And we're not your slaves. That we are not the slaves.
You're not the boss of me, okay? That's what you need to remember. You are not the boss of me.
Amen. So you're going to show me a video?
Yeah, I'll play a video about cop stomping a handcuffed man's head.
Well, he wasn't just trying to lube the bendejo. He was actually...
That's what he said. He said he was just trying to lube the bendejo, but then he wound up being called out on it because it was obvious on video that he was trying to stomp the guy's head. So...
Yeah, well, I was in fear for my bendejo, so I had to do it, officer. So, yeah, man, lube the bendejo just means lubricate the stupid. Don't get stuck on stupid. And I think the whole country and many other countries are stuck on stupid. So we really need to lube the bendejo worldwide.
They're afraid, man. They're afraid. Everybody's afraid. Okay? And I know that, see, that lowers your IQ. How many times have I talked about not being afraid, not buying into the fear? They're afraid. This lowers your IQ. Okay? It makes it so much easier to go, no, you need to do this. It's for your own good. And people go, it's for my own good. Because they're afraid. They can't think for themselves straight anymore. It's fucked up. And I know you want to blame them, but it's not fair. They're brainwashed.
Imagine if you're one of those 35-40% of the population that thinks the government is your friend. Your government wouldn't do that to you. 911 was terrorists from wherever, Saudi Arabia or wherever. And, the pharmaceutical, we need our pharmaceutical companies to keep us healthy. Imagine if you're that stupid. And there was a magic bullet in 1963 that just kind of traveled around a car making left turns and right turns, and then went up and hit the president from the front somehow.
Look, it's not that they're stupid. They're ill-informed. And they're afraid, so they kind of take the people that are informing them incorrectly as some kind of an expert. Okay, it's fucked up cycle, and the people are caught up in it. And I don't think it's really fair to call them stupid.
No, my point is, imagine how afraid they would be if they knew all the stuff you and me knew. They would have to go through a shock so severe. It was like a brand new universe is opening up, when, it's like aliens landing or something. It's that extreme of a shock.
I used to explain to people that you know, they ask me what it is I think I'm doing. and you know, they ask me why I'm not reporting more like what Alex Jones is doing, right? And I say, well, you don't understand what it is that I am doing. I say, see, you take the little birds and you try and feed them, but first you have to get their mouths open, okay? That's what I do. I get their mouths open, and then Alex Jones comes along and rams shit down their fucking throat.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I do the same thing. I just ram the shit down their throat because I ain't waiting, man. Fucking force.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, I know it's. Go ahead and say that, but you don't even begin to understand how valuable my position is in that whole thing. Okay, because you have to get the baby's bird mouth open, or you know, you can't give them anything. They won't take it. So, and if you're trying to jam it down their throat, most of them are going to turn away.
Well, let's go Brandon, man. Let's go Brandon.
Right.
That's what I say.
All right. Well, I'm going to go heat up my tea, Brandon.
Okay, show me a video of something interesting.
All right, I'm going to show you a video of a cop stomping a handcuffed guy's head.
Continue to lose the bendejo, man. These are not the bendejos you're looking for, Michael.
I'm going to play this video now. All right, so here we go. This is a video of a cop. Now, I want to explain, I want to set this up just a little bit because, again, it's a handcuffed man's head. It's a black man. The cop is on video. He's got to know he's on video. There's other officers there, real close to where he's at. And, you know, it's more than obvious what it is he's doing, that he's stomping this guy's head. And then he lies about it, saying he was just trying to put his foot on his shoulder to get him back on the ground, to keep him on the ground. Which I don't know if that's that much better. Because if I had a cop's fucking steel toe boot on my fucking shoulder, I guarantee you he wouldn't just be holding me down. He'd be fucking screwing it up. My shoulder, that is. He lies about it, and there's other cops there. It's on video. This tells me he believes that he can get away with lying about whatever. And I believe that's the mentality of pretty much cops everywhere. Everywhere. They can lie about anything. Again, I grew up with cops, okay? They can lie about anything and get away with it. Now, so that's the first thing he does is lie. At the same time, and it's on video, at the same time there's other cops there. So he believes that not only can he lie, the other cops will back him up in the lie. Because that's what brothers in blue do. So the whole thing is fucked up. It's like I've said many times, the so-called good cops know who the bad cops are. They know who's going to go out there and kick somebody in the head. And instead of helping that person get better training or get the fuck off the force so they don't give the force a bad name, they keep silent about it. They let that cop go out throughout their career hurting people. So it makes it hard for me to believe there actually are good cops. Okay, I'm gonna play this one for you. I'll be right back. Thanks so much for tuning in. Cop kicks handcuffed man in the head.
Well, the U.S. Attorney's Office is launching a federal investigation into an Indianapolis police officer, and it's because of what he was caught doing on video. We do want to warn you, it is very disturbing. Body cam video shows a police sergeant stomping on a handcuffed man's face. Now, the officer already faces 2 felony charges in Indiana, but federal action could also be coming. NewsNation's Russ McQuaid with our Indianapolis station WXIN shows us how the police chief is now taking action.
You understand that?
Yeah, I'm not
Jermaine Vaughn says he was exercising his First Amendment right to free speech on September 24th on Monument Circle, even if he says he was loud and talking to no one in particular. IMPD arrested Vaughn, who kept arguing with officers as one of them took him to the ground. Vaughn is on his backside on the ground with his hands cuffed behind his back, reads the probable cause affidavit. Sergeant Huxley then walks over to Vaughn, lifts his left leg, and drives his foot down into Vaughn's face, unquote.
We're not going to do this, right? Stop.
I have at least one of my officers that made a very poor choice and did something outrageous, and I'm going to recommend that he's terminated for that.
Another officer said Huxley told him, quote, I was attempting to put my foot on his shoulder and I accidentally kicked him in the face, unquote.
The video in this particular case speaks for itself.
Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears told me the body camera videos were key to filing criminal charges against Huxley. And IMPD Chief Randall Taylor said he has referred the case to the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for possible federal civil rights violations. Still, Chief Taylor wanted to make it clear that this video doesn't speak for how the department conducts itself.
Because I know these videos, when they're seen, there's going to be people that are going to say, that's what they're all like. Well, let me tell you, that's not what they're all like.
Back to you, Nicole.
All right, thank you for that, Russ. Well, certainly not what all police officers are like, but no surprise, the video struck a chord with the community. We are joined now live by Reverend Dr. Charles Harrison, board president of the Indianapolis 10-Point Coalition, and that group's goal is to use a boots-on-the-ground approach to cutting down on violence. Thank you so much for joining us, Reverend. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Now, that video is certainly hard to watch, seeing the officer kick Mr. Vaughn and then particularly his reaction afterwards. He just kind of seemed stunned. Have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Vaughn, and how is he doing tonight?
No, I have not had a chance to speak to Mr. Vaughn, but I know it has really struck a chord with leaders all over the city of Indianapolis. We are very disturbed by what we have seen from this video, but yet we are pleased that the police chief swiftly took action, suspending the officer without pay and recommending that he be terminated to the merit board. So I think that speaks highly of the work that has been done with community leaders and law enforcement in Indianapolis to not tolerate this kind of behavior from officers in our city.
Well, and this next question I actually got, we posted this video online, and, people commented. Obviously, there are certainly different opinions on this, but there are some people who justify use of force by saying, well, people should just listen to what police officers say. But in this case, in spite of what may have transpired up until that point, he was already handcuffed. He was already on the ground. So how do you respond to that type of logic?
Well, that's just unacceptable for people to make that kind of conclusion that you have to listen to the officers. He was handcuffed. He was no threat to the officer, so there was no cause whatsoever for that officer to put his boot on that man's face like he did. That's just unacceptable. We don't, agree with people who make those assertions that he should have just listened to what the officer said. That kind of behavior is just not tolerated and acceptable.
And from what we heard from the chief there, Sergeant Huxley facing termination, criminal charges, possibly federal charges. What is, in your opinion, the ideal outcome in all of this?
Well, I think the system has to work, and certainly if, the feds determine that he violated Mr. Vaughn's civil rights, then certainly he should be held accountable for that.
And my last question for you, we did learn that the victim, Jermaine Vaughn, is apparently homeless. We did attempt to try to find some family members. We weren't unable to do that. Reverend, how did you decide to become involved in this case?
Well, I think all of us did. All of us who are a part of making sure that there is justice for all. In this particular case, so that we can provide and care for him during this time of trauma for him.
Well, Reverend Dr. Charles Harrison, we appreciate you speaking with us, and thank you so much for your involvement. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right, so, and why do we see this happen? Number one, why is it that cops who are supposed to be, who always used to be to serve and protect, Why are they treating people? Why? This guy's handcuffed and on the ground and no threat to anyone. And he thinks because the guy's sassing off, is that what's happening? I don't know. He's on the ground. He looks like he's completely restrained, not struggling. Cop comes up and kicks him in the fucking head. You know, and then lies about it on video. It's again, this is a big telling thing that the cops believe they can lie about anything, even what's on video and in front of other cops, which I think is really important to understand. You know, if the other cops aren't going to turn them in, there is no justice for people like that. They don't know where to find him. He's homeless. They probably looked for him all over. So, good luck to that guy. Alright, so I am going to play another video. Is that what I should do? I don't know. We have the phone number up there on the screen if anyone would like to call. I have a video about police mandate in Seattle, and I have a video of a nurse getting kicked out of UCLA hospital after showing up for work but refusing to be vaccinated. Again, first responders. I don't get the first responder thing. I don't get nurses in particular. I don't get police officers in particular, you know, constantly in contact with the public. 40% of TSA workers not vax. Don't play that video again. 40% of TSA workers, frontline, constantly in contact with the public, close up, 40% not vaccinated. I'm going to heat up the bong. I think it's time for a bong hit.
The Transportation Security Administration says 40% of its workers are not vaccinated. They need to be fully vaccinated by November 22nd, right before the busy Thanksgiving travel period. It takes 2 weeks for full immunity, so time is running out to get the shots. Even with the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, those employees would have to get the shot by November 8th. The TSA administrator says the agency is creating contingency plans in case of a staffing shortage. Just about an hour ago, President Biden gave us an update on the national response to the pandemic. The president said more needs to be done to vaccinate the 66 million Americans who remain unvaccinated.
The vaccine requirements that we started rolling out in the summer are working. They're working. The Labor Department is going to soon be issuing an emergency rule for companies with 100 or more employees to implement vaccination requirements among their workforce. Every day, we see more businesses implementing vaccination requirements, and the mounting data shows that they work.
The president also urged states and private businesses to step up their efforts to get more people vaccinated and to avoid another surge in COVID cases.
All right, so if you listen to that video again, you listen to the word requirements. He loves that word somehow. I see he's saying, you know, the vaccine requirements are working. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had made vaccine requirements for every company in the United States, over 100 people? Can you imagine what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would have been saying during the primaries? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who said, I won't get the vaccine under Trump. They were unwilling to get the vaccine because, you know, Trump's not trustworthy. So can you imagine if he did this 100-person requirement? And it's so weird the way he enunciates that word. I would recommend you look at that again. I'm going to have to maybe clip together some requirement clips. Nice one. So nice. All right. Ah, love me some tea. Let's see. Yes, requirements. Again, I can't imagine what, how crazy the Democrats would have gone if Donald Trump had required people at companies that had over 100 employees to force their employees to get vaccinated. I can't imagine the things they would have said. Can you imagine the things they would have said about Donald Trump? Requirement. You should listen to the way he says that word. I'm going to have to do a clip out of that word. That's interesting. I didn't notice that before. Okay, so I also have video about nurses. Excuse me, nurse being kicked out of UCLA hospital because she won't get vaccinated, and the police officers. Again, a job that I wouldn't want. I would not. I can't imagine wanting to be a cop. Again, I grew up around cops. I used to have cops fuck with me constantly when I was a kid. But I got away with a hell of a lot of shit too. They would chase us all over town on our motorbikes, man, on our motocross scooters. Let's see. I have 2 videos left, and I just am really glad to see the mandate kind of backfiring on them. So that's why I picked all these videos. That's why I picked the title of this. If the Chicago cops actually do a Sickout this weekend, the reporting on it is going to be, I mean, I'll probably post videos all week long. We may have to do, it could be so wild west that we may actually have to go live to do a discussion about it, because because it's just gone to crazy town Purge, and I think that might be fascinating. So I will keep my eyes open over the weekend, for sure. And I guess I'll just play another video because we don't have any callers. If anybody wants to call, the number's there on the screen, 805-669-6397, 805-MOX News. I'm going to go ahead and play the video of the police mandate in Seattle. And it's weird the way they do the numbers. I keep hearing the number like 80% of Seattle police officers are vaccinated, and then they do this number where they say like so many officers have asked for exemptions, and so many officers have not turned in their paperwork that says that they have complied with the vaccination. And what's weird about it is that they don't correlate 80%. So it looks much more like maybe 65% of police officers have actually complied. So I'm going to play that video for you now, and I'm not going anywhere. It's not that long a video. I'll be back momentarily. I hope you find this interesting.
It's about 12:14. Welcome back in here on Cairo 7. King County is again breaking records when it comes to gun violence. More people were shot and killed so far this year than all of last year. As Cairo 7's Dee Dee Sun shows us, these numbers come as Seattle police is now dealing with major staffing troubles and is preparing for more shortages.
Yeah, it's worse than it's ever been here.
People in Seattle say they're already experiencing delays in police responding to calls, if at all.
Yeah, it's kind of concerning. I mean, I've experienced that with having to wait for the police. I had somebody break into my house not too long ago, and we had to call and wait and wait and wait.
My friend's car recently got broken into, and they basically just said they couldn't even show up.
The department is short more than 200 officers, and 186 more sworn officers have still not submitted any vaccine paperwork. Today, SPD launched its Stage 3 mobilization plan, with detectives and other non-patrol staff coming into work in in uniform, ready to respond to 911 calls if needed.
It is a little concerning hearing that detectives have to come down too.
Others say come October 18th, the proof of vaccination deadline, if more officers leave the department, so be it.
If people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, if they're not taking charge and taking care of the community that they have been charged to serve, then they're not doing their job.
The preparations for detectives to also take on 911 call responses if needed comes as King County is seeing historic levels of gun violence. A new report shows this year through September, 73 people have been shot and killed. That's more than all of 2020, where 69 people died by gun violence.
It allows us to confirm what we feel in our gut, which is today that incidents of gun violence, incidents of shots fired continues to grow at an alarming pace.
The King County prosecuting attorney says detectives in Seattle being moved to help cover emergency calls will impact their work too.
I'm concerned that they're stretched so very thin at this time when we need that kind of help, both on the older cases and on these new cases that are coming forward.
Didi Sun, Cairo 7 News.
The Seattle Fire Department says it has contingency plans now in place in case of staffing shortages because of the city's COVID vaccine mandate. As of yesterday afternoon, 864 uniformed staffers, or 95% of the department, has shown proof of COVID vaccine. 78 staffers, as you see there, have filed for an exemption, and 55 have not submitted paperwork yet. The agency says it expects to lose some employees over the mandate, but says it is taking proactive steps. That includes prioritizing which units could be placed out of service and adjusting those response models.
The Seattle Police Department is making emergency staffing changes. Hundreds of officers could be fired 5 days from now if they don't comply with the vaccine order. The department moved into stage 3 operations today. That means detectives and non-patrol units will be ready to respond to 911 calls. SPD has already lost more than 300 officers in the last year. The president of the police union says the department cannot afford to lose any more.
It's not reasonable. It doesn't make sense. And given the amount of losses that we've had because of the political betrayal, 350 roughly, now the threat of losing more, how is that protecting the public?
Mike Solon says the union will have another bargaining session with the city tomorrow. The latest numbers from the mayor's office show 782 officers have submitted proof of vaccination. 98 are seeking exemptions, and 186 have not turned in any paperwork.
Just into our newsroom tonight, Seattle Fire Department says it's making contingency plans for October 19th and beyond because some of its employees may quit over the vaccine mandate. All but 55 of its workers having submitted their vaccine forms, but the department says cutbacks are coming. It will cancel all non-essential training, community events, and building inspections. It might also bring some units out of service and activate its resource management center to help monitor responses.
You got the Chicago cops walking out. You got or Sickout over the weekend, maybe. You got 25% plus Seattle police officers here saying, yeah, we're not going to do that. You got, I think, the same amount in Redmond on the fire department. So, and this is in this, what you would call the liberal Northwest, and I wonder what it's like around the rest of the country, right? What percentage of cops there, in Georgia or South Carolina or Alabama or New Orleans, Louisiana are refusing to get the jab. What percentage there? It's the whole thing's being reported in a very strange way, right? And I think that these are, if you look at it, these are really common sense things that the first responders are saying, yeah, no, that's not going to happen, and that just doesn't compute, right? And they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And like I'm telling you, I think the reason that the big push is on so hard right now is because soon they're going to have to be like, oh yeah, we cured the plague, so that they can go into their election cycle and not be haunted by this whole total economic shutdown, which, once they, stop the economic shutdown, because it's done by the government, once they stop that, then Joe Biden will look like the hero that brought us out of despair to this semi-economic boom. Boom. Maybe not. We'll see. Won't that be interesting? That's the theater that I expect. There's theater, and then there's government theater, and the government theater is pretty predictable. So unless they're going to go with the other direction and completely lock down everything, then that could make voting difficult. Or they have to set it up by phone, which is really the way it should be done, but it's already this way where it's so hard to trust what's going on, So, because I don't trust anything the government tells us. I don't trust anything the government tells us. Nothing, right? Fluoride is good for you. Fuck you. I don't. No fluoride. I have not used a fluoride toothpaste in the last 30 years. Okay, since I became awake this year. Fluoride is good for you. I don't trust anything the government says. Do you think fluoride is good for you? I think that'll have to be the title of a show. Is fluoride good for you? We'll have to do that. We are going to have to do a live show about that. Don't you know? Because that sounds like fun. All right, so what is next, people? I am going to play this one more video that I have. And we'll see if we get any. This is the one about the nurse who got kicked out of the UCLA hospital after she went there to show up for work, and she had not been vaccinated, and she won't be vaccinated, and they had a police officer or a security guard armed. It definitely looked like to me he had a gun. Escort her off the premises. So I think that's pretty fucked up. Like I said, that's a job I would never want to do. Never. So I have a lot of respect for those people. It's just not fair, and it doesn't make sense. And again, first responders not wanting to, be protected does not compute in my brain. So I will show it to you again and again, most likely. Be right back.
It's about choice, folks. Having the right to choose whether or not getting vaccinated is right for you, for your health, for your family, for your life. We should each have the right to choose whether or not to get vaccinated, shouldn't we? But don't listen to me. Listen to this nurse. She was kicked out of UCLA Hospital, where she works, because she stood up for her choice, her own medical freedom.
So I'm being escorted out of UCLA for standing up for medical freedom, despite coming to work, willing to work, and I just can't believe that this is what they're doing right now. Came to work despite being unvaccinated, willing to work for patients, to help out staff, and this is how we're treated.
And her name is Tara Baffinia, and she joins us now. Tara, thank you so much. I just look back, and last year's heroes, the frontline workers, you saved countless lives, millions of lives around America. You were held up on a pedestal by the Biden administration. how things have changed in about a year's time, where now they're dragging you out of your job as a nurse saving people because you choose not to get the jab. What say you?
You know, it's disheartening, to say the least. I worked tirelessly on the front lines. I picked up when they were short. I worked extra shifts. We had to reuse our N95s. I would have bruising on my face, behind my ears from the mask. And now it's like we're disposable. We're an endangerment to the patients now. And what happened to last year? Were we an endangerment then? No. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, and you're saving people's lives, and you're the people who know what to do, what not to do, what your risks are. You certainly don't want to put any of your patients at risk, and I think you're careful not to do that. Yet somehow, if you don't have this technicality of having the jab, they're going to pull you out of your place of work. And by the way, Tara, we have a major shortage of nurses in America.
Yeah. So this is not the only organization I work for. I work for another organization in Southern California called Southern California Reproductive Center in Beverly Hills. It's a fertility practice, and they're doing the same exact thing to me because I won't adhere to their tyrannical vaccine policy and mitigation measures. I'm not allowed to work. I'm on unpaid leave. They're regarding me as being contagious without doing any form of individual assessment. And this is discrimination. They're segregating the people, and they're violating fundamental human rights, abolishing freedom.
So, frontline worker, you see it. You see the COVID. You've seen the horror stories. Do you think you're putting your patients at risk by not having the vaccine? I assume you use all the PPE, personal protective equipment, right?
No, I don't. They have not been able to prove that this vaccine stops the spread and transmission. So I'm just the same as a individual that's been vaccinated. In fact, the individual that comes to work that's been vaccinated, they might show up with asymptomatic because it's supposed to reduce the severity of symptoms. They may show up asymptomatic, but could potentially be contagious, and then they spread their viral load. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Let's take a moment here to remember with a monologue from about 2 days ago where we talked about Governor Gavin Newsom in your state of California, who we now find out his daughter isn't vaccinated herself, yet he's telling people they have to vaccinate their children. There's a certain amount of hypocrisy going around, plenty of it going around, especially in California. What are your thoughts to the governor?
I have no words for him. It's unbelievable. That's the best word I could use. Unbelievable. It makes no sense. You can't force something on someone that you yourself aren't participating in with your own family. Wake up. Everybody needs to wake up. There's something wrong. This has gone too far.
So, Tara, we've had pilots on this week. We've had parents on this week who are refusing to get the jab and risking their jobs. And I'll do it again. I said it with the pilot. Why not just get the jab and save your job?
You know, the manufacturers of the vaccine have not detailed enough the ingredients, all the ingredients, the side effects. There haven't been enough independent third-party tests and information that I feel comfortable with. And as a woman of childbearing age, I've had women come to me who are postmenopausal, having breakthrough bleeding, who are regular cycles, having heavy bleeding, or those that are on birth control that have not had a menstruation that start menstruating post-vaccine. I'm not comfortable with it. And if I'm not comfortable with it, I shouldn't have to lose control over my own person to a government or
100% agree. We stand by everyone. Again, I got vaccinated because I chose to, not because anyone told me to, and I'm against government telling me what to put in my body. You make a very good point. We don't know the side effects. This was a vaccine that was rushed through, and it may be completely effective, or it may not. We don't know, and the point is everyone should have the right to choose their own medical treatment. Absolutely. Are there other nurses who are in your boat, who are concerned about losing their job, who don't want to get the vaccine? Or are you a solo actor out there?
Oh, it's not just nurses, it's doctors, it's respiratory therapists, it's on the entire spectrum of employment. There are people that are afraid, they feel coerced. Those that have gotten it feel coerced into that they had to get it. It comes down to your livelihood, and will you be able to provide for your family, or will you get this jab and who knows how your health might turn out? It's everything about it's wrong. The mandates are wrong.
Tara, we commiserate with you. We feel for you, and everyone should have the right to choose what goes into their body, guys. Thank you so much, Tara Mafina. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. And just a quick blurb, my lovely friends started a campaign for me. It's givesendgo.com/nurse for freedom. If anybody could help contribute and pray, that would be so great. I would be so grateful.
100%. Thank you so much for your time, Tara.
Thank you. Take care. God bless.
All right.
Blue Bear went. He smelled something going on downstairs. Food. Is that food? I smell food. Anybody else smell food? Okay, so she said something. She said, it's not right. There's something going on. And this is this thing that I keep saying about it does not compute in my brain. There's something that does not compute. So, again, that's one of these jobs I would never want to do. And it's really unfortunate that people who have chosen a career like this to give their life to help others are now being treated almost like criminals, being escorted out of their workplace by an armed guard. That's just so fucked up, isn't it? I think that's pretty fucked up. So we didn't get any phone callers. I'll give you another chance here. The number is 805-669-6397. 805-669-6397. 805 Mox News. If you want to call, it's there. I'll give you a minute. I think maybe I'll play that Chicago cops Sickout video again at the end of the show, just in case. Maybe, I don't know. I think that's really an important story, and I find it very strange that it's not being covered more widely, as far as I can tell. No phone calls. Not yet. I'll give you another minute. I'm waiting. Fuck, Dr. Stupid's not still here, is he? Uh-oh. I might not wait a whole nother minute. Alright, so let's see. We do this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means we'll be back tomorrow. Same Mox time, same Mox channel. Until then, stay cool, because one of these days, this war is going to end. Stay cool till then, and thanks so much for tuning in. It's always better when you're here. Never forget.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on to Tune in and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.
I mean, this coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. I wish the coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits, and they cobble together and they don't attack each other, they stay united. Coalition of misfits.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am? You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.